Hey besties, it is Scott here from Vandenberg Visuals. I've got some knowledge to drop on you today. I've got some tips and tricks for finding the best wedding filmmaker for your needs. I've got 7 of them, plus there's a bonus at the end as well. This video is specifically for couples who are really interested in having a filmmaker present at their wedding, making a film for them, and don't know what to do. Don't know where to start. Maybe you're stressed, maybe you're freaking out, maybe you're panicking, maybe you're just gonna go on a random website and book the very first filmmaker you can find. This video is for you. Let's get started. Number 1. I'm fine, you're fine, everyone is fine. I get it. You're probably really worried about trusting a random stranger to film your wedding and deliver an incredible film at the end. That does sound a little scary, to be honest. Yes, it's super important to find the right filmmaker. Yes, it is easy to get burned. And yes, it can be a pain in the ass to find the right filmmaker. All this is true, but you're not gonna make a good decision if you're not in the right headspace about it. Just remember, your wedding day is going to be incredible no matter what happens. Got it? All right, moving on. Number 2, you gotta ask yourself the right questions. That's right, before you start asking any filmmakers any questions, you gotta ask yourself the right questions. If you don't know what you want, you're not going to get what you want. I can guarantee that. I work with couples all the time. When I ask them, what are you expecting from your wedding film? I don't know, I just want to capture the memories. And they throw out some very generic response that tells me they haven't really been thinking about what they want. And that's not the end of the world, but it would really, really serve you to take some time to think about what you want. So I'm going to give you some questions to ask yourself. And yes, this has to be a 2-person discussion. Talk about it with your partner. Question number 1, why do we want a wedding film? What are you trying to get out of it? Do we just want to remember what happened on the day, or do we want someone to tell our story as a couple? What do we want to feel? Do we want to feel nostalgic? Do we want to feel hopeful about the future? Do we want to feel really cool because we're the main characters of this awesome movie that we're watching? What do you want to see? What do you want to hear? Do you want it to feel epic and uplifting and almost larger than life? Or do you want it to feel more grounded, more laid back, showing off more goofy personalities? And then the last one, of course, what is our budget? You have to know that going in, otherwise you're either going to get sticker shock or you're going to just jump at whatever number they give you and you may end up overpaying. Just a heads up, the more you spend, typically the better the film is at the end. All right, step number 3 is to use your resources. Believe it or not, you have resources available to you to be looking for leads, to figure out what direction you should go in. For example, you were at a wedding last year and the filmmaker was incredible. They were hilarious, and when you watched the film, you felt all the feelings. Maybe ask your cousin or your friend from 3rd grade, hey, who was that person? I'd like to hire them. Crazy. Do some digging on Instagram. Look up your state wedding filmmaker. Number 4, do some research. If you happen to find a wedding filmmaker that you think is awesome and they check all the boxes, there are some things you can do before you actually talk to them to make sure that they're going to be a good fit going forward. So try to figure out, number 1, are they a national chain or are they a smaller, more local company? I guarantee that 9 times out of 10 you'll have a better experience with a small local company, whether it's an individual or a team. They will be able to give you a better experience because they have more time to give you a good experience. Do they have a solid online presence? You want to find a filmmaker that has a solid presence on at least 2 platforms. I would say the website being the most important and Instagram being second most. The Knot and Zola are kind of iffy right now. If they don't take time to maintain their online presence, do you really think they're going to take time to make an excellent film for you? Think about it. Do their films look professional? And by look, I mean, do they seem professional? Because it's not just about visuals. Yes, you want great colors. You want relatively stable footage. Sometimes shaky footage isn't a bad thing if it's done tastefully. Do the colors look consistent? Is everything way too bright, way too dark? Does it look generic? Could you cut and paste whatever couple into this film and have it be the exact same? But also, how does it sound? Does it sound good? Are there roughly microphones and plosives and wind noise going all over the place? Are they using licensed music, or can you hear a Kenny Chesney song playing in the background? These are all signs that someone might not really know what they're doing, and they could potentially fumble one of the biggest moments of your life, your wedding ceremony. All right, number 5 is going to be asking the right questions. That's right, we are going to actually start submitting inquiries now. When you submit an inquiry, pay very close attention to when the response comes in. If they send back a 4-paragraph response seconds after your inquiry or minutes after, you can guarantee that that is either written by AI or it is a template that they send out to everyone. Really should be hoping for some sort of a personalized response. So look for details. If they mention, oh my gosh, I shot at that venue last year, it was amazing. Or, oh, you have a dog, I have a dog too. Never, and I mean never, if there's one thing you get from this video, never sign a contract or pay anybody any money without talking to them. Whether it's on a Zoom call, whether it's on the phone, whether it's in person, you need to talk to them. Obviously, there's the chance that you could be getting scammed, but more importantly, this gives you the opportunity to see who they are. Are they kind? Are they attentive? Are they dismissive? Are they just looking for a quick buck, or do they really care about you and about telling a great story for you? So here are some questions to ask a filmmaker once you get them onto a Zoom call or once you're in some sort of a meeting with them. Do you personally film and edit the weddings? A lot of people do some outsourcing, and I would say some outsourcing is okay, but it's my opinion that if the person you're talking to doesn't have complete creative control, there's no point in talking to them. You're losing the personal touch, and it's not going to feel like you. It's going to feel cookie cutter. It's going to feel generic. How would you describe your style? Pay close attention to the response, because if this lines up with your answer to what do we want the film to sound like, what do we want the film to look like, you could be in business. If you really wanted a light-hearted, goofy wedding film, and they tell you, I try to make you, look like a movie star, it's gonna be epic, I'm gonna bring in a helicopter, that's probably not what you're going for. How do you back up your footage? This is huge. SD cards fail, hard drives fail, computers crash. If this filmmaker has your footage stored in one place and that one place is destroyed for whatever reason, the film is completely gone, it's ruined. Sorry. Any good filmmaker should have at least 2 different places that they store your footage while they're working on it. On the day of, I'm going to shoot with 2 SD cards that are redundant, meaning that if one fails, the other one has all the correct footage still on it. And then when I get home, I upload everything into this white box up here that has 2 hard drives that are both synced up, meaning that they have the exact same data on both of them. So if one of them fails, I still have the data backup. And then films I'm currently working on are stored on my computer and on a second hard drive. So I have 4 different places. The word you should be looking for is redundancy. Redundancy, 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 redundancy. How do you capture good audio? Same answer here. Redundancy, 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 redundancy. Especially during the ceremony, you should have at least 2, 3, sometimes 4 different sources of audio, so that if groom here is crying so much from seeing the bride walk in, his audio isn't completely ruined. Or if, this has happened before, if someone has one of these mic packs and accidentally turns it off. Do you carry liability insurance? This is sort of a boring thing, but if their light falls and hits someone on the head and injures them during the reception, are they going to be able to cover that, or are you going to need to sue their asses into oblivion? Like, what's the deal here? We want to make sure people are taken care of. We want to make sure that everything is all good and all of our bases are covered. Do we both sign a contract? You wouldn't believe how many people I see out there, couples and filmmakers alike, that run into some sort of an issue, some sort of a conflict on their wedding day, and people ask, oh, what does the contract say? We didn't sign a contract. I won't go into all the different things that could happen, but a contract protects the filmmaker and it protects you from anybody who is either unable or unwilling to fulfill their end of the bargain. If a filmmaker doesn't have really solid prepared answers for all these questions, they're probably not the right one for you. Number 6, I've said this before, but I'm gonna really harp on it. Pay attention to their level of investment. This has nothing to do with the price. This has to do with how much they care and whether or not they make it visible that they care about you, about your story, about your family, about your relationship and your story. I said that already. Do they take time to learn about you? Are they asking questions about you, or are they passive, or are they just jumping straight into the numbers, straight into business, boring stuff? I spend the first half hour of every single consultation just getting to know clients. And the last really important thing you got to pay attention to is your gut. Take red flags seriously. If they say, no, I don't carry liability insurance. I don't really care that much about audio. I just have really, really good looking footage. I actually hire someone to shoot the footage for me and then I send it over to an editor. Those are big red flags that would make me very, 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 very hesitant to book them. There are so many filmmakers out there. The market is just saturated right now. You gotta find the right one for you. Even if it's not a major red flag that tells you, oh, this is a bad person. Maybe they're a great person who just doesn't make films in the style that you want. Hey, here's a bonus one. The sooner you book your filmmaker, the better. This sounds like it goes without saying, but you'd be amazed at how many people I'm still seeing. It is August 2023 when I'm recording this. I'm still seeing people posting, hey, are there any videographers or filmmakers available for this September? No. Not good ones, at least. And you'll also get better pricing. Most filmmakers are constantly assessing and reassessing their pricing structures, and they typically raise prices at least once a year. The sooner you book, the more likely that you're getting the prices before an increase. So, I hope that was helpful. It's probably a lot of information. Feel free to watch it a few times. Feel free to share it with your friends. Feel free to, I don't know, go nuts. If you like this, let me know. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, put an inquiry in on the website. I have some space available in my 2024 bookings. I'd be happy to chat with you about your wedding film. And definitely drop any other suggestions you might have for couples below in the comments. I'll see you on the Zoom call we set up after you submit an inquiry. Have an awesome day. I'm not gonna do that. That's ridiculous. No, I'm not gonna do no.